We are breaking down the latest on the Brian Schottenheimer situation on today's show, with it certainly sounding like he will be the next Dallas Cowboys head coach if and or when this is official of a video and will be live for it. So hit that sub button. Make sure those notifications are turned on. As we sit here a little before 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, January 23rd, it sounds like this is going to end up being Brian Schottenheimer's job. That this is going to end up being the move made by the Dallas Cowboys. All the signs point this. Let's recap what's happened and what is going on today. Friday, January 18th, was the first real link of Brian Schottenheimer as the Cowboys head coach. Of, hey, this guy might be it. You know, there's a lot of buzz that people in the building like him. Then Sunday, more buzz continues to build. He's made the betting favorite for the role, which is really interesting. Tuesday, 4-hour-ish interview goes on between the front office, in theory, Jerry and Steven, and Schotty. Wednesday, yesterday, potentially 8-hour interview. I know Jane Slater said more than 5 hours. The 8th was kind of tying the Moore tweet when it started. He mentioned like 6 hours was still ongoing. Maybe it didn't start at 1. Either way, it was a long interview for Schottenheimer and the Cowboys. Then Clarence Hill tweeting this out earlier today. Look for the Cowboys to cross the finish line on hiring Brian Schottenheimer no later than Friday, possibly today. Now, Nick Harris, who had said, I don't think this is going to happen based on those I've talked to, said those in the building that at one point this week would have considered hiring of Brian Schottenheimer a major surprise are now just that. They're surprised. The likelihood of his hiring is high, and those people now understand that after yesterday, the growing feeling is that this is going down today. And shout out to Sean Shreve, who has been on it from the jump. That's where we are. The full expectation here is that this ends up being a Brian Schottenheimer hire. That this is who the Dallas Cowboys end up picking. I don't even know how we got here. I had a list of like 30-something coaches, and even on the internals, I'm like, Mike Zimmer, Schottenheimer, kind of whatever, Bones Fossil, interim guys. How? Why? I just don't understand. And I have some theories as to how this got here with another sham of a coaching search, what I think was in particular led by Stephen Jones, by the way, which bears concerning for the future. The whole thing stinks. This is not what anyone. If I had asked you a week ago today, hey, do you want to hire Brian Schottenheimer? Would have been 95% no. And yet here we are, where he's just gonna get the job with no real searches being done. So grade the potential hire of Brian Schottenheimer as the Cowboys head coach. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know at the pinned comments of today's show. If the ad comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. A, B, C, D, or F. Been multiple different reports now. Sean Shreve was on this early. I'd heard it. Mike Fisher kind of said the exact same thing today as well, that it is Stephen Jones who has been the main force behind this hire, that it is Steven who loves Brian Schottenheimer, that Steven's camp has been the ones, or is the friends of Steven maybe, that have been the ones that have leaked out the information that Schottenheimer is the guy that's going to be the coach there. And this does not bode well for the future, because this is not Jerry making the decision. This is not a solo Jerry Jones mission. This is Catboy. And I've warned about him in the past that I don't trust him. I don't think he's got a good football decision-making process. That if this is the one he really, really wants, and Jerry's kind of continuing to cede control to others, oh boy, that does not look good for the future, because Steven's a lot younger than Jerry is. I wish it were the old Jerry still. I wish Wildcat and Jerry would come through, save us all, and do something different, do something crazy, do something that's not just promoting Brian Schottenheimer to the role. The vibes are bad right now around this team, because if it's Steven making the hire, Steven don't want to spend money either. So you're going to have a cheap head coach and a roster that is not spending the same way as other contenders, and now what are we doing? Coming up next, I'll look at some other candidates, what potentially happened here with Kellen Moore and Deion Sanders and Saleh and Frazier and all that stuff, and the reports of the players like Schottenheimer. All that coming up here, but first, today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. It's the best way to get in on action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Georgia, Florida, and, of course, Texas. With conference championship weekend here, which is also not fun for me because it's Commanders-Eagles, you can get the Jaden Daniels half passing yard free square from PrizePicks. Put that in every single one of your lineups because there's no reason not to. You can also do the flex play with that. Be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe go 4 or 5 options on your PrizePicks slate. Get one wrong, still come out on top. Download the PrizePicks app today over at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That $50 is guaranteed. You don't have to win your first PrizePicks lineup. You just got to play that $5 lineup and you get the $50 instantly. That's code CLNS over at prizepicks.com/CLNS to get $50 instantly. Now, on his show, Clarence Hill stating that he got a text from a player that was, quote-unquote, probably number 4. It was Dak, right? Read between the lines there. About Brian Schottenheimer. The text said, he'll be ready for the next step. He has the right personality and brain. And okay, that's fine. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that the players like him. That's cool. That's awesome. Whatever. Players like your coaching staff, coaching hire, cool, whatever. That's like the bare minimum. I want to emphasize that part. And I say this next part, not trying to be a jerk, but I'm going to come off as a jerk, and it is what it is. I honestly don't care what the players want and think. I don't care. They wanted McCarthy. They wanted Garrett. They wanted Name, and that's how it goes. Most players like their coaches. And when they don't like their coaches, that's when it's time to make a move. Especially someone like Dak Prescott, who is, at times to a fault, frankly, the good soldier, says all the right things in most cases publicly, does this, loves this guy, loves that guy, isn't going to be negatively outward publicly to like anybody. I do think that they do like Schottenheimer, not that it's like all public fake whateverness, but like the players don't pick the coach. That's not how this works because that's not their job. They're not supposed to be the ones picking the coach. I'm fine if you give them like essentially veto power of like, hey, this is bad. Like, we can't keep doing this. We got to make a change there. That's fine. The veto power works for me. I don't mind that because if the players in coaching, if the players don't trust the coach, don't believe in the coach, then it's never going to work. But that is the baseline. It is not a justifiable reason to hire somebody. Comfort should not be a thing that we want. It should not be. It should not be, this is working, let's not change things. You haven't won enough to earn the right to comfort. You need to be put outside your comfort zone from the 80th player on the roster to the ownership group. The comfort level in this building is too damn high. You need someone to come in and challenge things at least a little bit. Comfortability doesn't really matter to me when the results haven't been good. And I want to make this clear. In the end, ownership wants this. I'm not saying this is like, wow, the players got their way. No, this is ownership getting what they want. Do not take this last little rant as me passing the buck from ownership. This is a Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, the Jones boys, led issue, led decision. They take the blame here. Or the credit if it works out, which I certainly hope that it does. I also don't think we're very confident in that. So what is your confidence level in the Dallas Cowboys right now? You can be honest. Scale it from 0 to 10 in the comment section of today's show. Then, assuming this does go down, whenever it goes down, the other options. Kellen Moore reportedly didn't have a long interview. Now, Kellen, isn't a big talker, so not like he was rambling on and on and on and on and on about it. That's how things went there. And there's also plenty of buzz out there that he actually told them no. That he told them, this isn't what I want. And then they wanted Kellen, didn't get Kellen. Pivot to Schottenheimer makes sense there. Robert Saleh, Leslie Frazier certainly seem more like defensive coordinator candidates and fulfilling the Rooney Rule than anything else. Sounds like Dion wasn't really a strong candidate in the end either, that wasn't really a path that either side was going to truly pursue, especially because I don't think Steven wanted it at all, and Steven's pushing for Schottenheimer, so there you go. If it drags on, maybe Deion starts to make some more sense potentially, but I think a Colorado extension there feels like the most likely outcome. And the true long-term end game in the end just feels like we're going to make Jason Witten the head coach. Schottenheimer's our cheap, temporary option so that we can groom Jason Witten. Schottenheimer's on board with that scenario because, he's never going to be head coach anywhere else. This is his chance. He gets more money. Everyone gets what they want, and the Cowboys get to groom Jason Witten, which is just, I don't know how this is the process, man.